Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a story time video, and today's story is one of those typical he didn't know I was trans videos. And I've done one of these in the past, and I was young, dumb once in my life, so I thought I would bring up another story about me not divulging my identity as trans to a guy that I was, kind of pursuing. But before we get into the story, if you guys have not subscribed, definitely click that button down below and give the video a thumbs up. So, without further ado, let's just get on to some of the most embarrassing times in my life when I just was very dumb. I am sure that is the reason you're here. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to divulge any names or anything in the situation. I just feel like I would never do that. Like, I also just like to keep my life a little bit more on the private side when it comes to like my real life setting. So I'm not going to blow anybody up. I'm not going to say anybody's names. So we're going to give this guy, his name's going to be Mark. So me and said Mark met through a mutual friend. I was not out to this mutual friend either. So in this situation, both of them have no idea that I'm trans. So I start Snapchatting this said Mark, and it's only because our mutual friend kind of thought that we would be like good together, I guess, or just wanted to hook us up. He's pretty busy, like in his everyday life. He's working all the time. I mean, he really doesn't ever have time to like chill out, I guess you would say. He's just always working. We were kind of Snapchatting whenever like the moment had allowed. So Mark was out of town for about a week at a time. And so we had been Snapchatting and just talking, getting to know each other. He obviously had seen what I looked like from like Snapchat and stuff like that. I honestly really didn't have any intentions to meet this guy. Like, I kind of did, I kind of didn't, but my friends were like, it's probably not a good idea. You should probably just tell him or not go at all. You don't want to die. You don't want him to like find out, mid meeting him, or you don't want to like run into somebody that you both know and then they tell him and then it just becomes a mess. So I was thinking of all this good advice and I was like, you know what, I should take it. But he was too cute and I really honestly just didn't want to, which is horrible, and I probably should have. So I decided that I'm going to meet up with this guy. So we decided that we were going to go out. So we went out. I took my friend, he took his friend, and we really hit it off. I mean, we both hit it off. He really was into me. I was really into him. So we had a really good night. We just went out, we drank, we got really crazy, and then it's like so embarrassing talking about these stories because like I don't want you guys to think I'm some like raunchy crazy person. I mean, I was back then, but like now, like I'm so different. Then me and him decided to just go to his truck, and we kind of like, we didn't really hook up. So for all of those who are going to think that was the case, not really. Like technically yes, but we did not obviously have intercourse or anything. So after that, I kind of knew that I was in like a really dangerous, sticky situation. I mean, I was in a vehicle so far away from where I live, and I knew that this was pretty dumb. I mean, what if this guy like, found out somehow, or what if he had known all along and it was just luring me back here to kill me? I mean, these are all the things that go through my head, especially as a trans person. I mean, now not so much, I don't have to worry about it, but seriously then, like, going with strange men is not a good idea for anybody, trans, cis, or anything. So like I said, we get into his car, we hook up or whatever, and then I end up calling my friend and we go our separate ways. So honestly, I really thought that was pretty much it. Like, I wasn't gonna hear from this guy again. I just thought, he kind of got what he wanted a little bit, so he wasn't going to want to stick around for more. So taking a couple steps back, the original plan that we had was to go out to dinner like the first time that we were going to meet. I then decided to go out and like go to like a bar and stuff with him, which again probably was my own fault. It kind of made him think that I was like this call girl that was gonna like hook up with him and then be gone. So that was kind of my own fault. Like in the beginning, like I said, we had planned to go to dinner. So I still was keeping that plan, like just because we had went out to like a bar before, like didn't mean that I was going to like completely put a wash on the idea of going to like get food and like talk and get to know each other, because like if there's no chemistry, like, yeah, maybe you can stick your tongue down someone's throat, but like if there's no chemistry, then there's no chemistry. This is where the red flag should have come in. I should have known better, because when the day came that we were going to go to dinner, he was like texting me, letting me know that he was like super busy and he was going to let me know like what time we were going to go to dinner, if we are still going to be able to go to dinner. And like deep down, like I knew that this guy really did not want to take me to dinner. He did not want to get to know me. Like all he really wanted to do was like hook up with me. But the thing is like as a trans woman, and I know my other trans girls out there are going to know this, like when a heterosexual, like really masculine, really like buff, cute guy is like super into you, like, and you're like passing and you know, you're like so fish and like they can't tell, you kind of are just living in the moment and you're just feeling like, oh my goodness, like I can take on the world, like I am literally so fish, he doesn't know, so I'm gonna like ride this out for as long as I can because it feels kind of normal. I guess at least that's like how I feel, like it was as normal as I could like achieve. So I was like, you know what, I feel good, like this guy's pursuing me, he has no idea my situation. So as the story continues, he's giving me just kind of BS reasons for why we can't go to dinner or like why we're not going to be able to go. And I was like really bummed about it because like it was something that I like kind of had like in the back of my head as something I was looking forward to. Like I kind of thought that like maybe if we got to know each other a little bit and he got to know me, that he would end up like being okay with the fact that I was trans if he just like got to know me and like me. In actuality, all this guy wanted was a booty call. So finally he like texts me. It's like probably, I don't know, later in the evening, but I really just wanted to go and I like wanted to see him again, like in not a club setting, like in a setting where we like could actually like talk to each other at a normal volume and not have alcohol running through our system. So I do decide to go, but I do, you know, make it so there's like a little bit of, I don't know, I made it so it wasn't just me going over this guy's house. Like I legitimately made him take me. We went to go get ice cream and we talked and it was like so cute. And it was like the first real date I'd been on in a long time. So I was just like kind of caught up in the moment and just wanted to believe that it was so much better than it actually was. And so I'm in my head like, oh my God, like this is so cute. Like he's like digging me, I'm digging him. Like maybe like I'm just going to tell him I'm trans and like he's going to be completely okay with it. So after going to get ice cream, I did agree to go to his house. And this was so dumb. Why would I do that? But I did. I went to his house. And so this guy was like a little bit younger than me and he still lived at home, but his parents also do what he does. So they were also out of town and weren't home. So I went over his house and we hung out. He tried getting me to drink alcohol in the middle of the week. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like maybe that's something you want to do, but like I'm good. Thank you though. So he puts on like music like on the TV and we kind of were just vibing and it was like honestly not bad. I knew what was coming, but like I also was trying to like convince myself that no, like it wasn't, like I'm good, no worries. He starts showing me around like his house a little bit, like telling me, you know, pointless information, but you know what, it was cute and I was in the moment, so I was like loving it. I was like, yeah, like, oh, this was like a $2,000 art piece. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I love it. And meanwhile I'm like, the fuck, I don't even care. So it was just kind of banter going back and forth, and so he like kind of settled for a back rub and I was like so into it. Because he was like so muscular, so I was just like, yeah, like I'll definitely rub those knots out of your like big biceps and your big shoulders. And then he like flips over, so I'm like kind of like straddled on top of him and he's like, come on, like please, can we just do it? Like I promise I'm like not like those other guys. Please, I've heard that 1,000 times before. So I am still, you know, telling him no. And then at this point I'm like, okay, you know what, I should just go home because I'm really not going to like, I'm not going to, obviously, because he doesn't know that I'm trans and I don't know that I feel 100% comfortable like telling him in his house because, I mean, he literally could just kill me. I knew that it wasn't smart to tell him there, so I decided that I was just, you know, gonna go. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna leave. So he walked me outside. It was so cute. Well, first he like picked me up in the kitchen. I will literally never forget that. Like, I just remember telling my friends after that, I was like, oh my God, he picked me up in his kitchen and was like holding me literally in the air. And I was like a lot lighter than I was now. So like, it would probably be a little bit easier. And so I don't know. I just remember that moment and I'm like, oh, I loved it. So he walked me outside. He like gave me a kiss goodbye and then I went on my merry way. And at this point I was so conflicted because I actually was starting to like him and I wasn't sure if I was liking him for him or if I was just so caught up in the moment and so caught up in like the whole, wow, how could this guy be interested in me? You know, I'm trans, I'm this, I'm that, like, and he's interested in me. I talked it over with my friends and I was like, should I tell this guy? Should I not tell this guy? If I don't tell him, then I can never see him ever again because there's only so many times I can dodge this whole like sex thing without it being like super weird and him not thinking I'm into him. So there's only so many times I can dodge it. So it's like either I don't see him again or I tell him I'm trans and like hope for the best. So honestly, I've told people in the past that I'm trans after like a night out of being like at a club and then I like text them or whatever and tell them and they're like completely okay with it. There's been a very, very few times that like people haven't been okay with it. And I'm not saying that to like toot my own horn or anything. I just maybe have gotten lucky every time that the guy just doesn't care. I mean, I worked with a good friend at the time. So I was talking to her and she was like, just tell him, you know, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, it won't. And then you can move on with your life and just on to the next one. So I told him that I had a big secret to tell him. And the saddest part is do you know what he told me? He literally told me, please don't tell me anything that's going to ruin us. Like, what? And at that point I was like, shit, I shouldn't tell him. I shouldn't tell him. But then a part of me was like, you know what? Like, he's starting to like you a little bit. Obviously, like, nobody says that to somebody if they don't like them. So I was like, you know what? If I tell him, it could be good. He could be, you know, a little bit shocked, but he could be okay with it. You know, you never really know. I went ahead and told him. I'm not going to say he reacted like super negatively, but he just told me, he was like, you know, this is just a lot to, you know, process. Like, I'm going to need some time to think about it. And I thought, you know what, that was like feasible to ask, you know, time to think about it. But then he like blocked me 2 seconds later on Snapchat. So I was like, did you think about it that quick? So that is kind of where the story stops between me and him. But a little side detail came up a little bit after everything had kind of ended between me and him. So my friend randomly brought this to my attention. She said, you know what, my dad like hangs out with a bunch of these guys like on Sundays at this like bar or something. And she was like, so this guy's dad was like showing your picture around saying that like you were like his son's girlfriend and like bragging about you. And I was like, so this guy like actually was really feeling me. And I don't know that he even knows that I know that, but obviously like deep down, like that kid was so interested in me and he was so like, obviously he liked me enough to like show a picture to his dad and he liked me enough to like tell them that I was his girlfriend, but then like didn't give me the chance because I was trans. Obviously, I'm with Zach now, so things are like not going to be happening anymore. But I have been in so many of these situations. So if these are videos that you guys want to see, like some story time videos, let me know in the comments down below. I have no problem telling you guys all my little dirty secrets. All I want you guys to learn from this is don't be as stupid as I was. There's so much knowledge around now, and there's so many crazies out there. Like, people are dying left and right for being trans, for being, you know, black, for being anything. People are literally being murdered all the time. So just be careful and like know your surroundings. If you take nothing else from this video, just don't be as dumb as me. But that completes today's video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys have not already. And don't forget to check out my last video. That'll be linked right here. Stay on the channel, have a couple laughs, learn a couple makeup techniques, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.